Well, thank you, Scott, for having me here today. 48 hours ago, I was still wondering where I was going to be today. So it's very exciting, and I'm proud to be a part of a party that won with 2.4 million more votes in the last election, 24 new seats, including myself and Carol Anstey from Newfoundland and Labrador. We come with the best showing in Newfoundland and Labrador for the Conservative Party in over 20 years. And that's because we have had a leader that has made policies for Newfoundland and Labrador's oil and gas, policies for Newfoundland and Labrador's mining industries, policies for Newfoundland's natural resources, which is one of the backbones to our economies. And that is the reason why I decided to join this Conservative Party at such a time as this. And I want to thank you guys for all the people a part of that. And we are very looking forward to bringing these policies with our next Prime Minister, Pierre Poilievre, in the next election, hopefully in 2026.
Merci beaucoup. Wow. What a guy. Congratulations, Jonathan. 12-vote victory. He won one of the most efficient election victories ever. Some of you guys win by 20,000 votes. Very inefficient. Jonathan did it with 12. He wanted to keep us in suspense for a few days before bringing the news. But of course, Jonathan and the team in Newfoundland, we delivered our best result in that province in 2 decades, part of a stronger and bigger nationwide Conservative team that added 2.4 million votes, 24 seats. News of the recount in Newfoundland strengthens that and points to the fact that we've expanded our coalition to include union workers, young people, newcomers, and others who had never voted before. They voted for hope, for a change. And while we narrowly missed forming government, we now have every duty to fulfill that hope and fight for that change. And that change means a Canada that is affordable, safe, self-reliant, and united. And those are our priorities for this session of Parliament. And priorities take plans. Our plan, first, we've got to get the cost of living down. And we're going to be demanding a spring budget that reveals the true deficit, lowers spending, taxes, and inflation. Second, to get homes built by cutting taxes and red tape on construction. Third, to restore economic independence by unleashing our businesses and our resources. Fourth, to bring safety to our streets by locking up dangerous offenders and securing our borders. And fifth, speaking of our borders, we need to get immigration under control after a decade of Liberal incompetence. Cost of living and budgeting. Well, Mr. Carney told us all that, he said, I'd like to say it again and again, that a slogan is not a plan. Well, I point out that is a slogan, but, but I'll tell you what a plan is. A budget is a plan, is literally a plan. And at first, his finance minister said there would be no budget this year, for the first time outside of COVID in approximately 2 decades. Then the Prime Minister came out and said, well, there will be a budget, but it will be in the fall when half of the fiscal year is over. How do you budget for something that has already happened? Maybe they think that budgets will balance themselves. We need a budget to cut bureaucracy, consultants, foreign aid, and corporate welfare to generate the savings for lower debt, taxes, and inflation. For too long, workers and small businesses have carried this morbidly obese government on their backs. They can't afford it. They can't bear it anymore. Lowering the cost of government will lower the cost of living. We must unburden our hardworking people so that they can go further and reach higher. With stronger buying power and lower taxes, our incredible workers and entrepreneurs will have their work rewarded, their purchasing power preserved, and our economy strengthened. And speaking of our economy, our second priority, is economic independence for Canada. We all want a permanent end to tariffs with the U.S., and we will work with the government to help make that happen. I've already told the Prime Minister that we are happy to cooperate any way we can to bring about an end to this unnecessary dispute and restore our not just our sovereignty, but also tariff-free access to the most successful international trading arrangement in the world. And we can't help but note that the Prime Minister promised during the election that he would put his elbows up and apply dollar-for-dollar tariffs that would raise tens of billions of dollars. Now, let's be clear. He said that it would raise $20 billion this year alone, and he published that in a platform released after he had quietly eliminated most of those tariffs. So how is he going to make up the money? And why did he put his elbows down when he said they were up? Look, despite the Prime Minister's doublespeak, we will work, as I said, to help him try and get a trade deal to put an end to the tariffs. But we also need to focus on making our own economy more independent and self-reliant, so that we're no longer vulnerable to such international surprises. That means unleashing our industry and its mighty workers to make things here for ourselves and for overseas markets. It's not enough to say you want to build. The government must remove the laws, taxes, and rules that stand in the way. And that's why Conservatives are proposing practical and real removal of obstacles, and the industrial carbon tax, the energy caps, the electric vehicle mandates, the No New Pipelines law, the West Coast shipping ban, and more. If the government agrees to these changes, we will move as early as the spring to pass them all. They have our word. Let's remove the obstacles. Let's harvest our resources. Let's make Canada truly independent. Doing so will allow us to be self-reliant from the U.S. by building mines, pipelines, nuclear and LNG plants, hydroelectric dams, and so much more. We must be the fastest place in the OECD to get a building permit, and we must have the lowest taxes on work, investment, energy, and home building. And speaking of home building, that brings us to our third priority. Conservatives will fight to free up land, speed up permits, and cut taxes on buyers and builders. We must restore the dream of home ownership that has been lost over the last Liberal decade. And nous voulons que ces maisons soient dans les communautés sécuritaires. We want those houses to be in safe neighborhoods. We want those homes to be in places where children can play outside, where seniors can enjoy a walk, where the cars don't go missing in the middle of the night. And that is why this session we will fight to end catch and release bail, house arrest, multiple murder discounts. We'll push for treatment and not drugs to free our loved ones from the clutches of addiction. We want a drug-free Canada where people can get back on their feet and have hope. And we want to restore sanity to our immigration system. We must end the out-of-control Liberal immigration by reducing numbers, capping population, deporting criminals, and integrating newcomers. Canadians are a welcoming people, but our healthcare, housing, and job markets are now overflowing because population growth has been too fast under the Liberals. We must also ensure integration. We must ensure that foreign conflicts are left at the door. No more rampaging anti-Semitic riots on Canadian streets. So once again, our 5 goals for this session: bring down the cost of living with a budget that cuts spending, taxes, and inflation; boost home building by cutting taxes and regulatory red tape on construction; third, unleashing resources and businesses to free our economy from dependence on the U.S. Fourth, restore safety on our streets by repealing Liberal laws, locking up repeat offenders, and securing our borders. And fifth, getting immigration under control. These are our goals, but our mission can be summed up in one word: hope. When we expose Liberal failures, when we argue about policies, we don't do it just to hold the government to account. We do it because we want things to get better. When we act as a government in waiting, we do it to provide the hope that things can and will get better in a future conservative government. We will present ourselves as a government in waiting to ensure that people know that that hope remains, the hope that our youth will one day be able to move out of their parents' homes and into their own, start a family in that new home with happy problems, like having to get out of the car when you get home from work to remove the hockey net so you can get the car into the garage. Knowing that kids were playing safely there after they got home from school, and that they will be in the House of Commons procrastinating about their homework. The families that need hope that their fridge can be full without their bank account being empty. The hope that seniors can return to that evening walk they used to so much enjoy until crime and danger interrupted it. The hope that our trades workers can again earn six-figure jobs, digging mines, building pipelines, and constructing homes that other people can afford. The hope of restoring a country that takes care of its own, stands on its own 2 feet, united under one flag in the freest country on earth. The hope that the strivers, the battlers, the fighters, the ones who scrape by and fight on, the ones who get knocked down, but get back up and never quit and keep pushing forward, they won't give up, and neither should we. We are their champions. Their worries are our concerns. Their cause is our purpose. They are counting on us. They believe in us. They put their hope in us, and we will fulfill that hope for our people, for our country, for Canada, now and forever. Thank you very much. Merci beaucoup tout le monde. Thank you.